All right, welcome to Friday, the last day of National Construction Appreciation Week. We're excited to be talking today with George Boots, and we even will have a live class providing questions and being an audience to George and Eugene. So without further ado, George, why don't you introduce yourself and we'll get to meet the class that we're talking to today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is George Boots. I'm the Director of Training for the Painters and Allied Trades. We're the finishing trades of the construction industry. And look forward to being here and talking with you guys, explaining what the different aspects of the construction trades are and opportunities out there for you guys. You want me to just go into it, Brian, or?
Yeah, actually, I'd love to hear the class that we have, what grade they're at, what school they're from, and maybe a quick little intro from the teacher, and then we'll hop into your presentation. And
Okay.
If they have any questions, feel free to unmute and just kind of jump in, guys.
All right, thank you very much.
Would you care to announce what school we're looking at and what class we've got this morning, and kind of fill in the viewers at home or from other schools?
I have to apologize. My students are laughing at me. I'm at my desk trying to click on the smart board. This is Miamisburg High School, and this is career prep. And we have been participating in construction appreciation all week, and we've really enjoyed it. So thank you so much.
Well, we're glad that you're joining us this morning, and please be advised that this is our first time ever trying this. So we appreciate your guys' flexibility, and it's been an adventure, but we're excited to kick off this morning with George. So George, why don't you just kind of hop in and start going, and then please don't hesitate to unmute yourself and ask us questions, guys. All right, George, go right ahead.
Thank you. First off, I represent the commercial painters, the industrial painters, sign display workers, glass workers, glazers, and drywall finishers. Now, that's just one aspect of all of the construction trades out there. Eugene, which he hasn't popped on yet, is part of the sheet metal workers. Then we got the electricians, you got the iron workers, the carpenters, of course, that everybody knows, along with a wide other groups out there, cement masons, bricklayers, stuff like that. This is a great opportunity for all of you guys. If you guys don't like to be stuck in the office or in the buildings all the time, you get to go around, see different things in the area that you're working in. It's a great trade. It's a great craft. You start off with a great living wage. On average, it's between $12 to $15 an hour starting off in the pocket. And then with pension, healthcare, and other benefits, it's really about $20 an hour that you're starting off with. That hidden cost is what you don't see immediately, but that in the future, in the long run, it'll pay off when you go to retire in 20 or 30 years or so. So you have a great opportunity. While you're in all of our careers or crafts, you also get free tuition to Cuyahoga Community College or what other colleges some of the other crafts are affiliated with. So you can get your 2-year associate for no charge while going through the program. It's a 4-year program, so just like a regular 4-year college, except for the differences, you don't pay for it. And with that, you also get paid while you're going to school. You go to school typically either in the evening or in my craft's case, you come 1 week every 6 to 8 weeks, four times a school year. So we follow a regular calendar school year. You come to school, and then the rest of the time you're out in the field working, honing in your skills and your crafts with everybody. It's a great opportunity for everything. You do have to be disciplined. There's a lot of times where you got to be by yourself. You got to be regimented, ready to go. We do start early sometimes. I know the painters, for instance, they start usually 6 o'clock in the morning, but they're done by 2:30 in the afternoon. So you got all afternoon off. And the reason they do that is because a lot of the chemicals and the fumes that they deal with, other trades cannot be in the area. So they start off earlier so that they can get out of the building while the other crafts work later. It is a great opportunity. Like I said, most career centers are 4-year apprenticeship programs. The average when you journey out is about $56,000 plus a year. My industrial bridge painters clear about 6 figures a year, and they only work 9 months a year. So that's a lot of hard work though, but they also travel around and they're away from their family. So they're putting in the hours and the time. So that's why they only work 9 months of the year. The rest of the time they're off. A lot of times they go back to Greece or Florida in the off season. A couple other warmer climate areas sometimes also. So it's a great opportunity. Any questions so far about anything?
If they don't have a question, I
I
was
thought I
just
seen a
gonna ask-
hand in the background.
oh, well, maybe we do have a question. Don't forget to unmute yourself, guys. If they don't have a question, I was going to ask, what does class look like? And then it looks like they unmuted, so I think we might have another question too.
Anybody have a question? No, not right. They don't have a question now. Sorry.
Okay. So class, depending on where you're going and what you're doing. So ours typically, thanks to COVID, we're going to a more of a hybrid, kind of what you guys may be doing with your school. They come in for doing the hands-on practical application, and then it's online for the theory or the book work. So you'll get assigned roughly 16 hours of book work or theory work on an online class, but you get 6 to 8 weeks to complete that. When you come into the classroom, the instructor will review it with you for about 4 hours or so, answer any questions, and then they'll go into the actual theory application. And that would be you're in the shop working on those actual techniques, honing in your skills, things of that nature. I can't answer for all the crafts and trades that way. I know everybody's kind of following the same pursuit, but everybody's a little different. So ours are Monday through Friday, depending on what day the instructor assigns you. You come in, just like you guys are doing, you wear face coverings, PPEs 100% all the time. Safety is always number one with us. And while you're in there, like I said, you're going to go through everything, the aspects. That's where you're going to ask those questions that you may be afraid to ask out in the field. That's where if you're having an issue, maybe you just don't comprehend on how to properly measure and cut a piece of metal or wood, or how to cut in paint properly or hang wall covering. That's where you're going to work with the instructor, and you're going to come up with different aspects and come up with and hone your skills to make you a very proficient employee for your contractor. We make a good living wage. We work 8 hours for 8 hours pay. It's all honest work. We don't, it's not like the old times where you'd hear, oh, you're only going for 4 hours and this. No, we work. It's hard work too. It's stressful. We're there. We got deadlines on the job sites. You got to be able to get in, out, do everything professionally. You can't be coming in holy jeans, cut up, look like you just rolled out of bed. You actually have to be presentable, professional. You're talking to business people. You're going into occupied office buildings. You're going into, I know out of Dayton, a lot of our members work at the Air Force Base for the government. So you got to be able to pass background checks. It's not just coming in and you just do willy-nilly stuff. Painters are like mini chemists, to be honest. A lot of their coatings that they deal with, it's not even considered paint. It's considered a coating, a protective coating, a barrier. And this is the type of equipment that protects human lives from explosion, corrosions, deadly bacteria and viruses, things of that nature. That's for the painters, the industrial painters, and some commercial painters. Other times you're in office buildings, your schools that are getting built. Those are our guys in there working on those. We're putting back with the community. We do charity work all over the country. Currently right now in Cleveland, we got 4 charity jobs that the apprentices are working on. Now we're kind of going heavy on the charity jobs because our shop space is smaller and we want to be able to spread our apprentices out so they could get the best training that they can. So we're finding charity jobs that want to do our specialized techniques so that we could show them how to do it out in the field. We help out the communities with different substance abuse, mental issues. We're a brotherhood. We're there for each other. We're not just, here to get a good living wage. We're here to put back to the community, help each other out, and pick each other up. That's what this is all about. That's what the union's about. It's not just the money. It's about helping each other out and bettering the community. As far as that, I don't really know what else you want me to talk about. It's a little early. I've only had one cup of coffee so far, so.
George, what's a common misconception about being in the skilled trades and or your specific trade?
That's actually a good question. So a common misconception is that we're just a bunch of, I hate to say it, people that are addicted to drugs or alcohol, things like that. The majority of us are not. We do have those members, just like in every other aspect of the world out there. And that's where we help each other out. But we just don't want to be in an office. We didn't want to get stuck behind a desk, looking at a computer screen all the time or on an assembly line. We get to go see different aspects of the city. We see new things that are coming out before the public gets to see it. We get to be part of it. The biggest thing is when I drive around the city with my family, and they hate this, I'll be honest. I drive around and I point out the buildings that I've worked on, and I take pride in it. I built my city. It's there. I could show it off to my family, and it's going to be there for generations. It's taking that pride in your community and helping out that way.
So I gotta piggyback off that then, because every skilled trades man or woman that I talk to says that same thing. They love driving around the communities that they've worked in and pointing out their favorite buildings and projects. What is your favorite project that you've worked on in your career? And give us a little bit of detail about why it was your favorite project.
There's probably a couple of them. The two big ones that I can recall is Case Western Dormitories. It was 7 dormitory buildings going up at one time. It had over 3,000 construction workers on it from all over the country and crafts. And we had to coordinate with each other, work with each other. It was a longer project, being 7 buildings at one time. But it was nice because once it opened up and being part of the finishing trades, I get to go in there after the building's occupied, and we do what they call a punch list. That's where the architect or the building owners go through and there's something wrong, something was missed, and I get to go in there and fix it. And just going in there when the new students were moving in or were living there and getting to talk to them and how excited and proud they were to be in the new building and how, it just put a joy on their face. The other building that I worked on, it was called the Stonebridge Plaza. It was on the mouth of the Cuyahoga River. That one was a 13-story apartment condo building. That one was a little different and unique. The reason I like that was, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, it was the view of Lake Erie. Going to work every day on the mouth of the river, and I get to overlook the lake. So, I'm up in the air. My job is hard as a glazer. Most of the time we're up in the air high in the, anywhere. You could be ground level all the way up. The highest I have been is 320 feet up in the air, hanging on the side of a building, installing glass. So it's definitely not for the faint of heart. We're out there all year round. Construction used to be considered a seasonal job, but with the new products and techniques coming out, we work year round. And that's another reason why you got to constantly keep your education going. Our journey persons come in every year for upgrade classes, for safety training, new product demonstrations, how to learn and apply the new products. Research and development, we work with Sherwin-Williams, PPG, Wooster Brush, and I'm sure a lot of the other crafts work with their specialized vendors on creating a product that's going to be easily used by the installers, but yet it's going to be durable enough for the public or whoever's using it. That's probably the biggest thing. And then of course the PPE is number one for all of our crafts. We take it seriously. We want everybody to go home and be safe at night. We all have families. We want to go home and see our families.
George, I got a question for you. And I've been waiting to ask this all week because this is something that I'll always burn. And is that, there is a huge movement in this country to take maybe some houses that have fallen into disrepair and flipping them. Mm-hmm. How often do your members kind of do side projects like that? Or, they might be trained specifically in, say, painting or something, but they also are like, I love to flip houses or invest in property like that.
So most of our trades do mostly commercial work. So on the residential, on the residential side, we do have members that flip houses, they buy houses, they rebuild them. And that's one of the great things with being in the trades. You may be a painter, but while you're on the job site, you're going to work with all the other trades and you find friends in other crafts, other areas, and you end up helping each other out, doing things. You know, you might need an electrician to come over and rewire outlet either in a flipped house or your house. You might need a plumber to come in because you got plumbing issues. Drywall finisher because you had a water leak. So you got the plumbers and now you got the drywall finishers. So it's a great aspect. It's a great tool and all that. And the great part about it that I love is with being there, and I like to work with my hands. I see how to do it and I can cut the cost down. I had a patio put into my house and I know the cement masons, so they came out and they did it. They did it for half the cost from what the contractors I was getting bids from. So that's a great help right there. Just the cost alone, taking pride in being able to do it. So I see Deb Klein has asked, what is a glazer? Does anybody in the classroom know what a glazer is?
You guys know just for lesson time?
Nope.
Yeah.
Something with glass is what we're getting.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't donuts. I get that a lot. Yeah, so it is glass. So glazer is an old term. That's how we got affiliated with the Painters Union. The painters would actually go in there and paint and prime or seal up the old steel sash or wood frames. And then the glazers would go in there and cut each piece of glass and then put a glass putty, and then embed the glass into the glass putty. And then when you finalize the putty and you tool it in, that is called glazing. That's where the term comes from. So it's an old term. So a glazer nowadays, as we do very little glass putty, we all know how to do it. We install bigger systems, window wall systems. They're unitized, which basically means they're pre-assembled in a factory or a warehouse, and then they come out and they stack up like Lego blocks. Other systems, we call it stick built or K&D, which is knockdown, and we build each piece individually, stand it up and prep it. We don't do much glass cutting anymore because of production, and computers can do it more accurately. So we order it directly from the manufacturers and it comes out. So we just install the glass, but it still has a raw edge. So it's extremely razor sharp and very deadly, to be honest, if you're not careful and know what you're doing. So a glazer installs architectural metal, panels, glass skylights, glass handrails, shower doors, the entranceways that you guys came into your building, the windows that are in your classroom right now, we've done all that. So anything with glass, we do.
With 10 minutes left, I'm going to ask Judy's class, do they have any questions? And if they don't, I guess just something to sit on is, if there's one thing that you hope they take away from today's session, what is that? And Judy, I'm going to hop back to you and see if any of your students have any questions. And it might not be specifically for George, but just in general about the skilled trades that George can then offer his perspective on.
I'm going to start off with a question, but I know that they might have a few follow-ups. Two things, you mentioned a lot of travel, which is probably a surprise to some. How often would you say your members travel to other locations throughout the state for projects? And then a second question would be, you mentioned how difficult it is on the body and how hard you work. Are there any kind of wellness incentives to help somebody kind of last throughout their career? And is there anything along those lines?
Okay. First with the travel, not everybody travels. There's usually enough work in your local city. I mean, but your jurisdiction, which is the region that you're going to work in, that could be anywhere from the smallest I've seen is about a 50-mile radius. So the largest could be about 200 miles. So traveling is that way. We do have members in all the crafts that travel around the country. Some even travel internationally. But that's specifically up to them and what they want to do and with the contractors that they want to get involved with. So the industrial bridge painters, they do travel a lot, to be honest. That is a special niche, but the rest of the crafts don't typically travel too often unless they want to. I hope that answered that question. You do get compensated too when you travel. A lot of times your hotels are paid for, or you get a per diem for food and provisions of that nature while you're out also. So they do make it worth your while to travel. As far as wellness and that, most of the job sites now, especially the larger ones, they call it stretch and flex. So every morning, the whole job site will get together and they do stretching and flexing, get your body up moving, going that way instead of going into a cold and then pulling a muscle and that. Other than that, most of our health programs and insurances are extremely well. And we promote taking care of yourselves, fitness, outside of the working. So, we want you to get involved with that softball league or the basketball team or your kids' sporting events, things along that nature. Get involved. Just don't come home from work and sit on the couch and watch TV. We want you to get out there and get moving and do things of that nature. We do promote that. One thing I didn't talk about, though, that's all the crafts. To be able to get in, you have to be 18 years or older. Some have valid IDs or driver's license, so that's a specific for each craft. Mine is a valid ID and a high school diploma or GED or equivalent. That's really the three things that you need to get in.
Okay, so we have kind of a follow-up to that question. So what would you recommend that people know or learn before applying for apprentice in your realm?
For whatever craft that you go into, maybe do a little bit of research, find out what it is. Definitely get your math skills up, learn how to read a tape measure, and be proactive with PPE, personal protective equipment. Those would probably be the biggest ones. Everything else you're going to learn in the classroom, but I would say math is the number one aspect that we all have to deal with. And I'm not saying calculus or trigonometry, things like that. You got to have basic geometry, be able to add and subtract fractions, read a tape measure, and do it. It's not something where you can just go, hold on, I need to get a calculator, or, sometimes you do, but most of the times you got to be able to add, an 1/8 inch plus 7/16 on the fly and be able to go.
Thank you very much. And then the last questions we've had sent up, just you personally, what influenced you to get into construction? And do you find that, what is the most interesting thing about your job?
To be honest, I never thought I'd see myself as in the construction field. Growing up, I started to go to college for electrical engineering, to be honest. Life hit hard. It came quick. Made a couple wrong decisions with my job placement. I decided to go to work right after school instead of going to college, which then created different barriers for me. And then when I did get to school, working a full-time job, going to class, and trying to keep up with everything really slowed me down. I ended up jumping from a few jobs. I was everything from working in a warehouse to an auto mechanic to sales to working in a machine shop. And then my brother-in-law's neighbor just journeyed out of the apprenticeship program. And he came up to me and asked me if I wanted to join and start a good career in it. And that's how I got involved. The best thing about when I was in the field, what I liked, visiting the job sites, seeing the different parts of the city all the time, and doing something new every day. My new role as a director, which I've been doing about for 5 years now, and instructing for 12, I don't know, somewhere in there. Seeing the apprentices grow, passing on my knowledge to them, and then watching them succeed in their career paths. That's the biggest thing. One of the things that I love most is when I got an apprentice after he's journeyed out for about a year, and he's come up to me and he thanks me for what I've done, and says he understands what I was putting him through to make him what he is now.
Well, thank you very much. This was very helpful. Really appreciate your time this morning. This has been great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us this morning. We were glad to get a live class to ask questions straight from the students' mouths. We appreciate Miamisburg's participation this whole week. It's been very exciting. We understand that we've got a couple more classes today. If you are from a different school and you are watching right now, we're going to have a brief break between now and about 8:50. So I'm going to kind of queue up a few different videos about apprenticeships and careers in the skilled trades and testimonials from students that are currently in the skilled trades or have gone that route. But please remember that if you're at home and you want to learn more about this, that DaytonApprenticeships.org is the place to start. And there's a contact tab on that website where you can have a direct email and phone number to inquire about any questions that you have. So thank you, Miamisburg. Judy, does your class have any goodbyes, or Bob, do you have anything to say before you hop off, or we'll just sit tight and be excited for the next class to come through?
Well, I think they would like to say a very big classroom thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was wonderful. They absolutely loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So
Thank you.
if you just want to mute your camera and turn your video off, I'm going to go ahead and show some videos. And George, if you want to hang tight, I will probably maybe ask that you're back around 8:45 if that's doable for you. If you just want to turn off your camera, and then I'll go ahead and show some videos, okay?
All right, I'll do that.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
What's up, everyone? It's Tia, and welcome to another day of Career Adventures Camp. This is our first ever virtual edition, and I'm so excited to be here, sharing some sneak peeks of some of the coolest careers in the Dayton area. If you want to know more about a career, or if you have any questions, visit DaytonMetroLibrary.org/careeradventures for a ton of resources. If you have absolutely no idea what you want to do when you finish high school, don't worry. Visit the library's website. Take the quick career cruising interest and aptitude assessment, and join me each day to help figure out what's the best path for you. Today we are focusing on construction and skilled trades, which includes carpenters, electricians, plumbers, and more. In the Dayton region, there are over 1,000 job openings annually. Let's learn more and visit with Phil Smith and John Hess at Mechanical Systems of Dayton. Then we'll go on site with Nick Smiley to learn about all the opportunities in construction. Hi Phil, how are you? And thanks for having us.
I'm good, how are you? It's my pleasure to be here. So here at Mechanical Systems of Dayton, we do HVAC, plumbing, refrigeration, building automation, controls, all those kinds of things. And when I started, I was an apprentice, which means I knew nothing about this industry. I came in, went through the apprenticeship program, worked my way up to the point where I was the guy running jobs. I was the one that people came to on that particular job. I made those decisions and I led that crew. And then it evolved into a safety position, which is where I am today.
So what part of the shop are we in right now?
So this is we call this prefab, so prefabrication. So in this area, we're gonna put everything together before we send it out to the job. And it's like a puzzle, right? So they're gonna put it together, they're gonna number it, and then they're gonna take it apart and send it all out. And we're gonna have a little sheet out in the field that's gonna tell us where pieces go, and we're gonna put it together just like a puzzle. Favorite project I've ever worked on is probably one of the more recognizable buildings in the Dayton area. So if you ever go to the Dayton airport and you see the big glass ice cream cone, that's the air traffic control tower. So not very often you get to do something like that. So that's probably one that really sticks out to me.
What kinds of jobs do you have for people who want to work in construction or skilled trades?
All different kinds of jobs. You name it, we've got it. We've got people that went to school and have degrees and have master's degrees. We have people that came straight out of high school. We have people that run our HR department, people that do our VDC, which is like our virtual design. We have people that are actually putting things together. We have engineers. So you name it, we have it.
Okay, so let's hear more about one of these jobs. Plumbing foreman John Hess is on a construction site almost every day. Hi, John. It's great to see you.
Hey, nice to see you guys. How are you guys today?
As a foreman, he's the supervisor of the team and is also involved in the hands-on construction work. What kinds of things does your team do on site?
So like on my end, we do all the bathroom groups, the drinking water, the systems that cool and heat the building. And then we do the refrigeration, so like the meat cases at the grocery stores that keeps the dairy products or the meat cold.
It sounds like your team works on a number of projects at each job site. What do you think is the best part of your job?
The best part of this job is I like working with people. I like working with my hands. You get to meet so many different people over the years. It's funny now that I've been doing this for so long, I can be out at the grocery store or at a fair or festival and see somebody that I've worked with and just talk to them.
John's been working in the industry for 12 years, and it sounds like he's really enjoyed meeting a lot of people during that time. In the Dayton region, there are over 12,000 jobs for workers in construction and skilled trades. For people who want a job like John or feel half, there's great and well-paying jobs for carpenters, plumbers, electricians, drywallers, welders, HVAC specialists, and so much more. When Phil and John started, they were in an apprenticeship program where they could learn from others on the job and work their way up. There are also career technical schools where you can start to specialize in construction and trades while still in high school. Let's hear more about this from Nick Smiley from the Associated Builders and Contractors of the Ohio Valley. Hi, Nick. Why is technical school an advantage for someone in high school?
Hi, how are you guys doing? Thanks for coming out today. Well, there's many advantages. The first one, first and foremost, you're going to get that training while you're also getting the knowledge that you would normally get in school. So all your math, English, science, all those classes are going to be tailored to what trade you want. Let's say you want to be a plumber. They're going to work with you on making sure that you know the formulations on how to calculate what type of pipe diameter you need to move a certain amount of water. Those classes are tailored to that. So all vocational schools, I being a graduate of a vocational school myself, is one of the best places to start.
Most trade schools are a 2-year school, so during your junior and senior year, you could start going to the trade school while still going to your high school as well. One question we hear a lot is about pay ranges. So how much does a job in construction pay, and can I support myself and a family?
It varies. From position to position, you can start out making anywhere from the $15 to $20 an hour range, and I've got friends that make $60 an hour every day. You get company cars, there's tons of perks, there's a lot of benefits to it. Financially, you can build a life for any type of family working in the skilled trades.
You can make a great living in this industry. There's always an entry level, so everyone comes in and starts at a certain level, but where you end up is completely up to you. For instance, we have people right now that out in the field that work on jobs and they're making upwards of $60 an hour. We work with people of all different age ranges. So we have people that come in that are fresh out of school. We have people that are co-op from high school. So their junior and senior year in high school, they actually go to school half the time and then they come and they get paid and work for us half the time. How cool is that? I wish I would have known about that when I was in school. So we have that all the way up to people that are your parents' age, you know, like me, and people that are older than me, and everywhere in between.
Okay, so you mentioned the trade schools and also the apprenticeship, where you get to learn from others on the job. John, what was it like when you were an apprentice?
When I first got started, I was a first-year apprentice, so I was just being an extra set of hands for the guys that were a higher level than me. The first day on the job was a little overwhelming, just something new that I have never been a part of. So it was just a lot of taking in the scenes and the sights and the sounds, but you quickly get acclimated to what you're doing. So I just kind of fell right into the groove and just kind of started going from there.
When I was in 8th grade, I knew exactly what I was going to be. I was a starting linebacker in the NFL, hands down. That really wasn't in the cards for me to become. I thought it was in 8th grade, but I ended up finding a career path through construction. I really enjoyed construction. I liked turning around at the end of the day and I built that. I was part of that. My wife and kids would get upset with me because we would drive by a building and I'd be like, I did that. They heard it 100 times.
What's it like being on a construction site and part of a team that completes a building project?
There's a lot of work that goes into making a building become a building. It's the details that people forget, you know, the doors, the windows, what makes the toilets flush, what makes the water come out of a drinking fountain. And it's really neat to be on a job site to see all the different trades come together to do their part and intertwine with each other that make a building from just a dirt lot. And then next thing you know, you have a building that could be a hospital or a grocery store or a library or a school.
So, you're a plumbing foreman and you specialize in plumbing. You also work on building different types of buildings in the Dayton region. What do you think helps you be successful in a career in construction and skilled trades?
So I think to be successful, you gotta have a good imagination, some creativity, teamwork to be able to work with other trades, your teammates at your company, critical thinking, just the ability to just kind of think outside the box.
Anybody, and I mean anybody, who shows a desire and a willingness to join a skills trades company and actually put in the effort to learn that trade will never be denied an opportunity. The skills trades accepts everyone.
Huge thank you to Mechanical Systems of Dayton for giving us the insider's tour. And to the Associated Builders and Contractors, Ohio Valley, for helping us to learn more. I also want to say thank you to the coordinators of Career Adventures Camp. Day 4 of camp, we're going to learn about aerospace, which includes anything that flies, like drones, and logistics, how things get from one place to another. I can't wait to see what else we learn about this week. See you tomorrow for another day of Career Adventures Camp.
So here's what.
My name's Willie Monaghan. I'm a journeyman electrician. Academically, I was all right in school. Yeah, I stayed with good grades. I wanted to work. Like, I didn't work throughout high school, so I know I wanted to work when I got out of high school. So I didn't have much money. Construction just caught on to me, and I could never just get away from it. I always found myself somewhere in the construction site or talking about it or doing it. It's a 4-year apprenticeship. Each year you got another curriculum that you're learning about. You learn a lot of code of how to do the electric work, what's the right way to do the electric work. And then hands-on in that program, they give you some hands-on things where you got little mock-ups of houses or whatever in the rooms and all that, motor controls.
Cooper Electric's an experienced and trusted electrical contractor. We primarily focus on service-based installations, meaning that we work on existing facilities. Through our network and kind of having our ear to the ground for good help these days, we were told that Will was available and that he was interested in completing our apprenticeship program. And it's rigorous academically. It has a lot of classes. You need to know math. You need to use algebra, geometry.
I'm gonna always be able to have work. If something was to happen and I moved to another state or something, it's not starting over. I already got an electric trade I can keep working on.
So when you're looking at, planning out your career and starting off in your apprenticeship program, you should look at it like you start off at a minimum rate there of $10 an hour, which is about $20,000. By the time you're in 4th year, it's about $32,000 is your minimum wage. Typically, most guys go through apprenticeship in this day and age at a higher rate than that. So their earning potential is probably on the other side of $40,000. And that's without any college debt, and that's with getting paid as you learn.
I like the fact that I can be like an example. If you're in school and you're a little in doubt or not sure what you're gonna do in college, or just know that college isn't the only option. It's not. The untraditional pathway works for me is because personally, getting out of high school and be able to start making money right out of high school, I was able to bring more income into my family.
Back before 4-year college was all the rage, there were these positions called apprenticeships. Apprenticeships go all the way back to the Middle Ages, when a master craftsman would employ a young person as an inexpensive form of labor, providing them with food and housing. In return, the apprentice would learn a trade. At the time, there was no such thing as college, so this is how knowledge and skills were passed down to the next generation of blacksmiths, carpenters, tailors, and bakers. While becoming a blacksmith may not be as viable a career option today, apprenticeships for positions like electrician, carpenter, and welder are good pathways towards a well-paying career. In the modern world, apprenticeships are sponsored through industry. The programs include, at a minimum, 2,000 hours of structured on-the-job training and 144 hours per year of related classroom instruction. And there are many options across multiple fields.
A typical apprenticeship, you go through and you work a 40-hour week, most of the time 7 to 4 p.m., and then you go to school 1 or 2 nights a week, depending on the need for the hours.
This is Gil Highland. He works for Cooper Electric in Cincinnati, overseeing their apprentices.
In the state of Ohio, 144 classroom hours is the amount of hours you need per year to qualify as a Bureau of Apprenticeship, Department of Labor approved apprenticeship program. So by the end of their 4 years of apprenticeship, they're going to have 576 classroom hours, and they're also going to have 8,000 hours of on-the-job training.
apprenticeship sponsors are required to provide classroom instruction through the University System of Ohio.
This is Patrick Reardon. He's the program administrator for Apprentice Ohio, overseeing the apprenticeship providers throughout the state.
This allows all registered apprentices to be duly enrolled in their apprenticeship program, as well as a student at one of the local centers. All of our apprentices are gaining college credits debt-free.
And as a matter of fact, apprentices start off getting paid on day one of the job, and they get benefits.
The average starting salary of a registered apprentice in Ohio is a little over $33,000 a year, and the average completion wage of a registered apprentice in Ohio is just over $56,000. And they're able to do this if they come right out of high school at a very young age. If they start off at the age of 18, they're able to achieve that $56,000 mark in their early 20s.
Apprenticeships last anywhere between 1 and 5 years, but most last 3 to 4 years. And once the program is completed, the apprentice receives a nationally recognized credential, making them a journey person in their field.
Once they complete their program, receive a nationally recognized portable credential in their occupation that they've been training in. This certifies them as that journey person level status and is of great value and recognized by employers across the country.
I think apprenticeships are a great pathway for people looking to get into a career and to learn and to grow their skill set. There's a lot of avenues you can go after going through your apprenticeship program. It's only really a matter of where you want to end up.
And while, yes, some of these careers are physically demanding, there are many other options across multiple fields.
Just because you choose an apprenticeship doesn't mean it closes the door on college. College is always available. Lifelong learning is kind of what we always, pitch, is that you're going to be learning for the rest of your life, whether it's through our continuing education credit hours that we need, or you find something like, hey, I really want to learn about estimating. I really want to learn about project management. So there's different avenues that you can get with college education and college credits that supplement an apprenticeship.
When thinking about the future, Ohio has hundreds of apprenticeships that help people earn while they learn. A young person may be able to save thousands of dollars while preparing for an in-demand field. It's all about finding the right pathway for each student.
So if you're at home or in a class and you're getting ready to jump into our next session, we're going to start in a few minutes at 8:50. We've been playing various videos for National Construction Appreciation Week, and we've been piping in video feeds from a MCESC classroom. So if you're at home or your teacher is watching this in your class, please jump into the comment section and ask questions for the rest of this morning. So just so everyone has a schedule for the rest of today, we're going to do our second and third sessions. Our second session will be from 8:50 to 9:20, and then our third session will be from 9:40 to 10:10. So we'll be showing various videos in between those sessions, but please jump in at any moment, whether you're watching a video or you've participated in other days of National Construction Appreciation Week, and post your questions. And we've got some really great partners in this virtual meeting today with Eugene and George. So we're gonna go ahead and throw up the slide saying that we're gonna get ready at 8:50. And in a few minutes, we'll get started. So thanks again for joining us, and we're excited to keep Construction Week going. All right. Well, welcome back to National Construction Appreciation Week being celebrated here in the Miami Valley. We again are joined by George Boots and Eugene Frazier. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Morning.
Morning.
We're glad to have you guys with us, and we're joined by another class from Miamisburg. So can you hear us, class?
Yes, we can hear you. This is our second period career prep class.
Excellent. Well, we're excited to talk with them today, and please jump in and ask any questions. And George and Eugene, I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves.
George, you want to go ahead?
Good morning, everyone. My name is George Boots. I'm Director of Training of the Painters and Allied Trades. We cover the commercial painters, industrial painters, sign and display, drywall finishing, and glazers. I'm glad to be here.
My name is Eugene Frazier. I'm the training director for the Sheet Metal Apprenticeship Program, also the chairman of the Miami Valley Apprenticeship Coordinators Group. So glad to be here and giving you guys an opportunity to look at a chance for your next career right out of high school.
Well, George, if you could start off by introducing, I think let's start from the top and just a real quick reminder of what is the skilled trades and what is a career in construction and how does an apprenticeship fit into it? And then what genre or what is a painter, and just kind of start from the top for us.
Okay. Well, good morning. I am with the Painters and Allied Trades. So we cover commercial painting, which does all the painting from your school classrooms to office buildings, doctor's offices, stores, everything like that. Our industrial painters do your highway bridges, water tanks, refineries, oil lines, and items like that. Sign display does everything from the printing on your shirts that you guys have to your workbooks to stickers, billboards, basically anything that's a print or a logo, to trade shows, setting up at a convention center for like an auto show or something like that. Drywall finishing goes in there after the drywall is hung and they finish the drywall to the specific finish that the architect would like, and preps it for the painters to come in and paint the wall. And then the glazers do the glass work, install glass commercially on skylights, architectural panels, the storefronts that you guys came in, the windows in your classroom, doctor's offices, buildings like that. And that's the real gist of it. We're the finishing trade. So when we leave, it's basically the last thing that you guys are seeing. I always joke around with everybody that we make everybody else's jobs look pretty because when we leave, we're done. And that's the gist of mine. We're a 4-year program. To get in, you got to be 18 years of age or older, valid photo ID, and a GED or diploma or equivalent. Eugene?
Yeah. Well, again, I'm representing the sheet metal workers. A sheet metal worker does anything from the architectural work, the beautification of the outside of a building. Shops, the one key component to think about as sheet metal workers, we build everything we put in. It's called sheet metal because it starts as a flat sheet. So I've got contractors to build the HVAC ductwork that's above your heads. I've got contractors to build, I built parts that went on the space shuttle. So when you think about it from that perspective is you got to kind of pick and choose what you want to do within each industry because there's multiple diversities within the industry. Just like George was saying, just because you're going into finisher, that doesn't mean you're going to be just one thing. You can be multiple things. And I got one contractor that builds stuff you can drive your car through. So it just depends on the contractor and the kind of work they have in the market is what you would be doing as a sheet metal worker. The key for the students to take away today is we're going to give you so much information and you guys have unbelievable tools in front of you, calling the computer to do this research to find out what you want to do. Then once you find that path, man, go for it. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable opportunities for you because I started just like all of you in a high school setting, went to a career center. Everybody goes to a career center. I chose to, but after that choice, I chose to get an apprenticeship program. And ultimately that led me to my career as a training director. So, your pathway is yours to control in apprenticeship programs.
So George, why don't you tell us a little bit more about, what an average day looks like for, folks in your trade?
Okay. So our
Does one
apprentices,
exist?
yeah, well, kind of. Every day, our apprentices go to work on the job site. So while they're working, they're making a living wage. They're putting money in towards their pension, their health insurance, like everything of that nature. So yeah, you get money in your pocket, but you're also putting money away for your future. When you're not on the job site, you come to class. We do our training. We call it block training. So you come in 1 week at a time every 6 to 8 weeks during a regular school year. So we start in August and we end in May, June. So every 6 to 8 weeks, you would come into class for a week at a time, learn your theory of it, and then you work on your hands-on, your practical skills. You hone in your skills. This is the place where we want you to make the screw ups. We don't want you to do it on the job site and cost the contractor money, delays, things of that nature. We would rather have you make the mess ups in the classroom where the instructors can work with you and hone in your skills to make them better. While you're in classrooms, we're moving now towards a hybrid approach because of the COVID. So now instead of sitting in a classroom for theory, you're doing it online in between the 6 to 8 weeks, and then coming in for a quick classroom review and then going straight to the shop. This year we have adopted to do more charity jobs because our shops are smaller, and so that we could utilize the charity jobs to spread our apprentices out and get more unique training into them for that purpose. We like to give back to the communities that we're involved in. That's really our day in the action.
Eugene, you want to kind of walk us through some of what a day in the life of a sheet metal worker looks like?
Man, I certainly can, but that's a great comment that you just made, Brian. Students, I want to tell you, you got it again. The tools you have for your research is like YouTube. If you type in a day in the life as a sheet metal worker, a day in the life as a carpenter, you'd be amazed what you'll be able to find. But as far as a sheet metal, your day can start anywhere from 4 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the morning. Just depends on the job site. So you're going to go to school. You're going to go to work 40 hours a week. You're going to be placed with a journeyman, a craftsman. So as you're at work, your responsibility is to be on time and be ready and be attentive to learn. That's what your job is. And you get paid to do that. So at the end of 40 hours a week, yeah, it's hard work, but you're getting paid to learn. So through that cycle of learning in a 5-year apprenticeship program, as knowledge, it comes with pay. So as you learn more, you get paid more. So these are guaranteed raises, guaranteed benefits. So a sheet metal worker, again, is going to work every day. He's going to and then go to school 1 night a week. You're going to do that at a typical school year, same as college settings and what have you. Same as your high school setting. You're going to be off a couple of months in the summer, and then you're going to go to a winter break and then back to school in spring, like a spring semester. So that's pretty much a day in life. But the key is we only have the apprentices in our training centers like 10% of their training. The rest of the training is on that job site. You have to take ownership of your training, Brian. You have to take ownership. The student has to understand that when they go out there and they're working next to someone, they have to be so attentive to what's going on around them. To when that craftsman says, hey, hand me that, they've got it in their hand because they've been watching that person, what he's doing. They know his next move. Before you know it, you're going to be the one asking the journeyman, hey, hand me that. Because again, they want to put the tools in the apprentice's hands. They're teaching you, and you're getting paid to do that. I mean, where else are you going to go today and get free training, get paid, and go to home and end up with a really nice paycheck at the end of the day? Where else are you going to go today that's going to guarantee you, if you do your part, you're going to get a raise? Where else are you going to go today that you don't have to negotiate and go to an office and ask for that raise? We do all that for you. Your job, your job as an apprentice in any of these programs, be attentive, be on time, and be ready to go. That's what your job is.
Thank you, Eugene. I'm going to actually ask Judy's class if they have any, when they think of the skilled trades and when they think of construction, what do they think, the skilled trades are, and do they have any questions about, for you guys right now? And I know we just got started, but when they think of skilled trades and construction, what is their first impression?
Guys, what do you think about when you think about like skilled trades and construction? Do you have anything on your papers that you had questions about? Anything at all? We did have a question earlier about what is a millwright?
George, you want me to get it?
Yeah, go ahead, Eugene.
Yeah, a millwright is someone that would go into a plant along with other crafts, and they handle and moving of equipment and heavy machinery and things like that. So, like you've got inside of a plant, they're changing the design of a plant. Okay, they need to move this machine over 10 feet. Well, you're going to call the millwright in to move the equipment. You're going to call the electrician to disconnect it and reconnect it. You're going to call the plumber. Think about it this way. This is a really cool way to look at each one of these crafts. That school you're sitting in was built by construction professionals. I have to ask the class, if you had a sore tooth, would you go to a foot doctor?
Would you go to a foot doctor? No. What would you go to? A dentist.
A dentist. That's the way a building is built. Each person that has their piece of that building is a construction professional. George's students and their craftsmen know their craft. That's the only craft they do. They don't do my craft, they do their craft. So that's why it's important for the student in the junior, senior year to start doing your research. What do I want to do? What am I passionate about? What do I want to be 30 years from now? I've got to pick a career. A lot of people, Brian, and students, you choose the college path, which is perfectly fine. Our programs have college credits. You're getting free college credits going to our programs. If you wanted an associate's degree, we can help you get that associate's degree. But the key to the whole thing is the training is in your responsibility. It really, truly is.
So what we've kind of taken away from this as it is a good idea for the students to basically start at CTC, correct? And then possibly move into an apprenticeship. Would that be better?
That's a pathway, but to be totally honest with you, that we recruit there. We're recruiting. Why do you think we're here today? We need apprentices. So that is another pathway, because those students that go to these career centers have decided at a very young age that that's what they want to do. A lot of people don't know what they want to do. The average age is 26 of an apprentice, because they went to college, couldn't find a job, didn't like what they were doing, found their passion in the mid 26. These students you're talking about, the career centers, they found out their passion very early. Let's just say you haven't decided yet and you're still staying back at your home school. That's perfectly fine. It's our job to train you. It's not your job to come to us with all this knowledge. You don't know how to, there's people that come to us that don't know how to read, tape measure. It's our job to teach you how to do that. Okay. Your job again is to show up. That's it.
Yeah. Any other questions right now, guys? Yes, ma'am. Chloe. Is the machinery hard to drive? That's a question.
I would say no. After you go through the proper training and you get some experience on it, it's actually quite fun. I think so. I have enjoyment with it. It is a little, remember when you first learned how to drive your parents' car when you're getting your driver's license? It's the exact same feeling. It's something new, something exciting. And once you have that down and you understand the safety aspects of it and how to properly use that equipment, you'll have fun and enjoyment doing it, to be honest. I love getting in those big lifts, 135 feet up in the air with my partner. And as I was saying at the earlier class, being on the mouth of the Cuyahoga River, looking at Lake Erie, who's up there to yell at me? I'm out there in the fresh air. I'm getting my job done. When I need to take a break, I step back, I turn around, I look at the lake, and I go right back at it. I'm refreshed. I'm ready to go. It's extremely relaxing.
Hey, George.
Bikes aren't for everybody.
I'm going to cut in really quick. And, that student asked, what's it like to maneuver heavy equipment? Eugene and George, can you guys give a little teaser? Because while we weren't able to put on Construction Expo this year, many of the students sitting in this class and sitting in classes around the Miami Valley that are watching right now, what will they be able to do when the Construction Expo comes back? Can you explain what that is and talk a little bit about it? So if they enjoyed the videos they watched this week, what they might have in store in next school year?
Sure, that's our expo is set up for hands-on. Each one of our building trades there. So if you want to come out and try to operate a crane, we've got one there. You actually physically sit down in a crane that we train on. You want to weld, we got welding booths. You want to put together a piece of sheet metal, we got sheet metal, we got plaster work. We've got all kinds of things going on, but it's all hands-on directed, so they can get a little bit of feel for what it's like.
And a lot of the trades are starting to use virtual reality equipment. I know we have it, and I think the sheet metal workers in Columbus do, Eugene, a virtual lift. For those individuals that are afraid of heights and not quite sure on how to do it, we can safely put them in. They're only 4 to 6 inches off the ground, but the reality of it, when you put that headset in and you get immersed, you feel like you're up in that air. It helps get you comfortable. The virtual equipment's a lot more difficult to operate, so you get better safety training on it. You know what you're looking for. And then we have a virtual spray paint. It helps keep down the cost of the paint. We can set it up as a learning tool and kind of a challenge or a game for the apprentices. So as you're going through it and you're seeing what this apprentice is doing wrong, and it's your turn, you get to correct it, and you score that higher score. So everybody has a chance at it. You work on your motor skills, your ability to do it. And then on top of that, it's green for the environment. We're not wasting those chemicals or products out in the field. Is it exactly like a real machine or equipment? No, but it's close enough to the point where once you get on it and you use it, you're comfortable with it and you know what you're doing and you're doing it safely.
Yeah, we actually have that in Dayton now, Georgia.
Oh, good.
I borrowed it. I extendedly borrowed the lift, so we'll have that at the next expo. It's really cool.
Nice.
Really neat.
Could you guys walk us through, we talk with a lot of students that say, after high school, I just want to go right into work. I want to get a job. I want to get paid. I want to start working. Could you kind of walk through why an apprenticeship is so unique in how you're being paid and you're working, but you're also learning at the same time? Can you kind of highlight why an apprenticeship is unique, and if there's one thing they walk away with, that maybe give them that understanding of what an apprenticeship is?
Yeah, George and I both be able to cover that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The key is you go to college, for instance, you're 26, where you get to do what you want to do. If you decide what you want to do right away, you're doing it. So you've got that passion right away that you come to the job site. So think about it. You're not waiting to get paid. You're not waiting to get out of school to get paid. And like George said, you drive around, everything you start to accomplish, like, wow, I did that. I can do this now. And I didn't know how to do this before. So that's the takeaway. The takeaway is the pride you get to put into your work and the fact that you're getting paid to learn. I mean, my gosh, it's just a win-win. And it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate that it's taken this long for society to realize that this is an unbelievable opportunity. And it is. That's why we're in this virtual classroom right now. We want to get our message out. We want you to understand that there's other ways to make a very substantial living.
And along with that, you're not walking out of college at 26 years old with a $60,000 plus debt for paying college. You're getting free college education if that's what you're wanting through us. So you can get that degree. You're not coming out without a job. You already have a job. You're making $56,000+ a year before that guy gets out of college with that $60,000 debt. You're buying your house. You're buying that boat that you want, or doing those vacations overseas or wherever you want to go. You're enjoying your life at a good age, and you're making a good pension for yourself. So when you go to retire, you're not working until you're 60, 70, 80 years old. You can enjoy your retirement.
Yeah.
Could you guys speak to, I think there's a really unique thing with the skilled trades where you get trained up and you learn some skills and you get, society recognizes that you're proficient or just really good at that. And then you can do it pretty much everywhere. Could you kind of explain how translatable these skills are and how once you kind of get through an apprenticeship, what that means?
Absolutely. Within the building trades, there's multiple, here's the other thing, caveat to this, Brian, is there's multiple apprenticeship programs out there. Again, it's all about the research. The key about our apprenticeship programs, once you've completed a recognized building trades apprenticeship program, you've now got the credentials where you can travel anywhere you want in the continental United States, Canada, Puerto Rico. I've got friends of mine that work out in Seattle right now, and they work at the Tesla plant that make over $3,200 a week. I've told you this before. It's unbelievable. I mean, they go out, so they can now travel. If you want to travel, this is the avenue. If you want to be in construction and you want to travel, this is the area to go to, because again, when I'm training in Dayton, there's 160 unionized sheet metal apprenticeship programs across the country in Canada and Puerto Rico. So what I'm training here, they're training in California. So they know if a person comes from Dayton, Ohio, and wants to go to California, or wants to go to Montana, or wants to go to Florida, they're properly trained. They go right to work. You're not looking for that job. All you got to do is go to an area and say, hey, I'm in the area. I want to go to work. You go to work. I've got 2 friends of mine. That's all they've done since they've got out of the apprenticeship program. They work about 8 months out of the year, make over $100,000 a year. And all they do is go hunting and fishing on those other days. They work their job for their 4 months off.
I got to ask, there's so many misconceptions about the skilled trades only being for this type of person or for men or XYZ. Could you kind of try to dispel some of these misconceptions and, kind of just keep it real on what the skilled trades really are?
So I like bringing in the female worker. A glazer is a lot of heavy, hard, strenuous work, but they can do it. We have the tools and equipment, and our members embrace the ability. So the glazing trade, just like the sheet metals, have such a diverse range of things that we do. You find out what your niche is, and you get tasked with that. I like bringing in the females because they have the eye for the finished work. A guy goes in there and the architect marks something up because it wasn't right or whatever. I hate to say it, the guy's just like, yeah, okay, it looks good for my house. You put a female in there and she looks at it and she goes, I know exactly what he's looking at. And he's going to address it and make it look even better than probably what the architect or the owner of that building is looking for. So they got that eye for detail, and they got the patience to sit there and do it correctly. Where sometimes, I hate to say it, men are just get in there, get it done, and get out. Sometimes that doesn't work all the time. But we embrace them all. They come in, they learn their facets. We have door specialists. It's not a lot of heavy work, but it's a lot of mental work. You got to think through the door. How do you get the door to work properly? Why is this mechanism not working right? What's going on here? What happened? Was it working properly before? And then what happened to make it malfunction? Things of that nature. That stigma of the old construction guy is just a big brute, didn't do good in school, this and that and the other thing. That's not what we are. We're actually very educated. We're highly trained, and we have extreme knowledge in everything that we do. That's why we make the money that we make. Our employers, our signatory contractors, trust in our training programs, put us through it, and pay a good living wage to do what we do because they believe in our programs.
Thank you.
When you talk about diversity, Brian, within the apprenticeship programs, for instance, my program, I don't care, big, tall, short, doesn't matter whatsoever. I've got 6 ladies in my program. One of my sisters came through the program. Not my blood sister. I call them sisters, brothers and sisters. We're a family. All right. I treat them all like my kids, and then they become my brothers and sisters. Anyhow, one of my sisters just finished her apprenticeship program 2 years ago, is now one of my lead instructors. I'm going back to the comment. We are construction professionals. We are not some old dirty construction worker. All right? Just like George said, big, tall, little, it doesn't matter. We need little people. We need big people. We need people that want to we need people that just want to show up and go to work. We need leaders. We need people that want to lead so desperately in the construction industry. It's unreal. So that's, like I said, the opportunity there for the diverse workforce that we have is up to the individual. It's what the individual puts into the apprenticeship program. I say it all the time to my apprentices. That's who you become as a journeyman. So if you're going to be late, you're going to be like the slug on the job site. That's what you're going to be known as a journeyman. You're going to have a hard time being successful. I'll be totally honest with you. But if you treat it like it's your company, you lay your head on your pillow at night, I would have paid myself for what I did that day. You're going to have a very successful career. And it doesn't matter if you're a female. It doesn't matter what color you are. It has no bearing on none of that. It's you. You have your own destiny. There is no seniority. So that's the good thing, is the effort you put in is what you're going to get out of it. Again, George and I both were apprentices. We chose this path. We're now like your principal or your superintendent of your school. We've come from humble ground of learning our craft and everything about our craft to start teaching our craft and now running the program. It's huge. Do I have a college degree? No, I don't. Do I need one? No, I don't. Do I make what a doctor makes? Not quite, but I'm right there.
Eugene, I got a question for you. And
Yes.
before I ask, we only have 5 minutes left with this class at Miamisburg. So Judy, I was gonna kind of tag you guys back in and see if your students had any questions.
All right, let me check. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions at all? I do like, I don't have a question, it's kind of a statement. I love the fact that you are including females in this conversation, because I did work in historical renovation for 18 years. And when you talk about females having an attention to detail, I immediately thought about caulking. When you're caulking woodwork, actually men will put the caulk on and walk away and it's lumpy and you can't paint over it. But women come back, it's nice and smooth and you have a perfect finish. So I'm always trying to encourage females to look into some type of construction job and just give it a try. So I appreciate you bringing that into the conversation. I don't think the students, anybody else have a question at this time? Oh, I had another question as well. On the Construction Expo, what month do you have that in if you do have it next year?
Generally, it's in October, right, Deb?
October.
Yeah, around the second or third week in October.
Okay, and Eugene, what is the backdrop behind you? It looks like something related to your, yes, okay, now I can see it better. Is it a sculpture? Is it?
That is created by my fifth year. Every year, my fifth-year apprentices give me something from their knowledge. That on the back of you see a pair of tin snips,
Yes.
iron, and a hammer, and there's a shield. So that class, they designed that themselves. That's got stainless steel, that has copper, that has all different types of brass. And on the back of those tools, they all signed it. It's really cool. And then if you look at you can see it in the reflection of the mirror, you can see their signatures. So that was something, again, you took someone that had no knowledge whatsoever, and now they're doing artwork by the time they're fifth-year apprentices. It's just amazing what they can do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I was trying to figure out what that was. Is it cover the entire window?
No, it's actually just a shadow. When I took the picture,
Okay.
It's so shiny that it was, when I took the picture, it was the reflection of the window behind it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. I'll tell my students.
So Judy, I have a follow-up for your students and for Eugene and George. And I think that part of the goal of National Construction Appreciation Week is to appreciate and recognize the skilled trades. So for the students in your class that might be sitting there saying, maybe right now I don't think I'm going to go into the skilled trades or construction, you still now are an ambassador and a messenger for what they really are. They're not this dark, dirty, unsafe group of people who aren't well educated and aren't well compensated. It's actually far from that. So Eugene, if there is, as these students go out into the world, and what is the last, and George as well, what is your last message for them for how they should perceive, and maybe down the road their children will want to go into the skilled trades? What is that lasting message about the skilled trades you'd like to leave with them?
Information, go get it. You got it. It's in front of you. I'm not sure, we wasn't able to show our video, Brian. I'd really like for them to see our video to how to reach out to all the coordinators on our webpage. I could show it, but do your research. Don't wait. Don't wait to 26 years old and try to figure out what you want to do. Think about it. You could be 26 years old and already have your first truck paid off. Your career's done. You're on your pathway. Don't wait. Do not wait. There's no sense in it. The jobs are readily available, but do your research. Find out what your passion is. That's my takeaway.
George, any last message for our students, even if they're not going into the skilled trades, just so that they, if anyone ever asks them, hey, have you ever heard about going into this, just for them to be mindful of?
Eugene hit it on the head. Do their research, find out what the passions are. Make those phone calls, network, find out who's doing what if you're not quite sure, and talk to them. Now, this is a great episode where you got the sheet metal workers and you got the painters and allied trades here, but there's other aspects. You got the iron workers, you got the carpenters, the electricians, the plumbers. Just reach out to them, get the information that you're looking for. All of us coordinators and directors are always willing to come and talk to everybody or talk to you individually if need be.
Thank you, George.
Our website.
And
Do they
don't
have our
forget,
website, Brian?
I will share that right now. That DaytonApprenticeships.org is a great resource to go and find more information. And Judy, we just wanted to thank you for having your second class join us this morning. And if you're at a different school around the region, the whole goal of this week is to put a face to a name. These are the actual people who teach and coordinate these apprenticeships. So you now all know Eugene and you all know George. Judy, thank you for having us. Do you have any last words from your class?
Yes, guys, let's say a big thank you. This was so awesome. It was so much excellent information. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's hard to hear in the mask, but they said thank you so very much.
All right, great. Well, Judy, if you want to throw your camera on mute and turn off your camera, we'll join you back in about 19 minutes.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yep. So Eugene and George, the next Miamisburg class will be coming in at 9:40. So I was going to actually play that video, Eugene, that you were describing. Do you remember the title if I was going to pull it up on YouTube?
Yeah, I actually got it right here, Brian. Can I share my screen?
If you give it to me, I'll make sure to play it with the audio pipe.
Oh, okay. I was going to share my screen so you could see it.
Okay. You are now share screens. So if you want to just share it, and I'll pull it up, and if there's any other classes watching, we'll set that up, and then I'll probably play a few more videos from Think TV about apprenticeships and opportunities like that, and then we'll jump back into Pocket at 9:40. So, okay, apprenticeship, build with the best. I will pull that.
Yeah, that's it right there. I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
I can probably send it to you in an email if you want, if you can't get to it.
I think I've got it right. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and please feel free to take a break, turn your cameras off, mute yourself, and then we'll see you back at 9:40, okay?
9:40?
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, George. Thanks,
You
Brian.
don't need to leave the meeting. Just if you can turn off your video, because if not, while I'm showing the video, you'll be in there we go. All right, perfect. Well, we'll see you back at 9:40. Thanks, guys.
Builds America.
We build it. We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We build it.
We built it.
We build it.
We build it.
We are the organized building and construction trades of the Miami Valley. Electricians, sheet metal workers, iron workers, carpenters and millwrights, bricklayers, plumbers and pipe fitters, operating engineers, cement masons and plasterers, insulators, laborers, roofers, painters, every year, the construction industry in this country needs another 10,000 skilled workers, and that demand is growing. Our country was built by such skilled men and women, And with their numbers falling, we'll soon fall behind. This is why it's the right time to start a career in the organized building trades. How do you do this? By enrolling in one of our 3 to 5 year apprenticeship programs. You can earn while you learn, working alongside journeyman craftsmen and receiving great pay with annual pay raises. Classroom instruction is accredited at several community colleges, so when you graduate to become a journeyman, you have acquired a great skill that is always in demand. You have earned college credit towards a degree. You will be earning top wages with outstanding benefits. And you will not have any college loans to repay. Becoming a journeyman isn't the end of the road. You can train for new skills and certifications. You can be promoted to foreman, to estimator, to supervisor, and to project manager to increase your earnings. You can even own your own business. Another plus is that as a journeyman, you can move nearly anywhere in this country for gainful employment. Your membership is totally transferable across the states. Your benefits, certifications, and work history all follow you wherever you go. So if you're looking for a career that cannot be shipped overseas, a career that puts you to work from day one, a career with top wages, benefits, and growth potential, a career with the best training for men and women, an apprenticeship program in the organized building trades is for you. Build for your future. Build with the best. For more information about your future in the organized building trades, contact www.daytonapprenticeships.org.
Back before four-year college was all the rage, there were these positions called apprenticeships. Apprenticeships go all the way back to the Middle Ages, when a master craftsman would employ a young person as an inexpensive form of labor, providing them with food and housing. In return, the apprentice would learn a trade. At the time, there was no such thing as college, so this is how knowledge and skills were passed down to the next generation of blacksmiths, carpenters, tailors, and bakers. While becoming a blacksmith may not be as viable a career option today, apprenticeships for positions like electrician, carpenter, and welder are good pathways towards a well-paying career. In the modern world, apprenticeships are sponsored through industry. The programs include, at a minimum, 2,000 hours of structured on-the-job training and 144 hours per year of related classroom instruction. And there are many options across multiple fields.
A typical apprenticeship, you go through and you work a 40-hour week, most of the time 7 to 4 p.m., and then you go to school 1 or 2 nights a week, depending on the need for the hours.
This is Gil Highland. He works for Cooper Electric in Cincinnati, overseeing their apprentices.
In the state of Ohio, 144 classroom hours is the amount of hours you need per year to qualify as a Bureau of Apprenticeship, Department of Labor approved apprenticeship program. So by the end of their 4 years of apprenticeship, they're going to have 576 classroom hours, and they're also going to have 8,000 hours of on-the-job training.
Apprenticeship sponsors are required to provide classroom instruction through the University System of Ohio.
This is Patrick Reardon. He's the program administrator for Apprentice Ohio, overseeing the apprenticeship providers throughout the state.
This allows all registered apprentices to be duly enrolled in their apprenticeship program, as well as a student at one of the local centers. All of our apprentices are gaining college credits debt-free.
And as a matter of fact, apprentices start off getting paid on day one of the job, and they get benefits.
The average starting salary of a registered apprentice in Ohio is a little over $33,000 a year, and the average completion wage of a registered apprentice in Ohio is just over $56,000. And they're able to do this if they come right out of high school at a very young age. If they start off at the age of 18, they're able to achieve that $56,000 mark in their early 20s.
Apprenticeships last anywhere between 1 and 5 years, but most last 3 to 4 years. And once the program is completed, the apprentice receives a nationally recognized credential, making them a journey person in their field.
Once they complete their program, receive a nationally recognized portable credential in their occupation that they've been training in. This certifies them as that journey person level status and is of great value and recognized by employers across the country.
I think apprenticeships are a great pathway for people looking to get into a career and to learn and to grow their skill set. There's a lot of avenues you can go after going through your apprenticeship program. It's only really a matter of where you want to end up.
And while, yes, some of these careers are physically demanding, there are many other options across multiple fields.
Just because you choose an apprenticeship doesn't mean it closes the door on college. College is always available. Lifelong learning is kind of what we always, pitch, is that you're going to be learning for the rest of your life, whether it's through our continuing education credit hours that we need, or you find something like, hey, I really want to learn about estimating. I really want to learn about project management. So there's different avenues that you can get with college education and college credits that supplement an apprenticeship.
When thinking about the future, Ohio has hundreds of apprenticeships that help people earn while they learn. A young person may be able to save thousands of dollars while preparing for an in-demand field. It's all about finding the right pathway for each student.
Hey, George. Hey, Judy's class. We're getting ready to start our last session of National Construction Appreciation Week. Hey, Eugene. Thanks for joining us. You guys are ready?
We're ready.
Looks like you got a little bit of a bigger class this time around.
Yes, the last one was very small and very quiet. So I'm hoping for lots of questions this period.
Yes, please don't hesitate to jump in. And Judy, basically, when you unmute yourself, I'll assume you guys are ready to ask a question. And without further ado, I'm going to have George and Eugene introduce themselves to your class. George, do you want to take it away?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is George Boots. I am the Director of Training for the Painters and Allied Trades. We cover commercial painting, industrial painting, drywall finishing, sign display, and glazers. Proud to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. My name is Eugene Frazier. I'm actually the Training Director for the Sheet Metal Apprenticeship Program and Chairman of the Miami Valley Apprenticeship Coordinators Group, where you're going to find all the plentiful information about your next career choice. Right, Brian?
That's absolutely right. And, you know, part of this week is just to expose students to what it means to work in the skilled trades and construction. And you guys are kind of privileged today because whether or not you're sitting in a classroom in Miamisburg or watching online, you get to hear from two different skilled trades partners. So you're not just hearing about the painters or the sheet metal workers, you're hearing from both. So with that, George, you want to kind of kick us off and explain what an apprenticeship is, and we'll go from there.
Hey, George.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, Brian, can you show our short 4-minute video about?
Yes.
So students, what Brian just asked us to do was explain our programs. What I'd like to do this time, a little different than other classes, is actually pay attention to this short video. What you're going to see is all the building trades in our area and all of opportunities that's available to you. It comes at you very fast. So watch this video. And these are all the construction professionals Brian and George and I are speaking of today, of choices that you're going to have to make at the end of the day. So Brian, go ahead. I'm sorry, George. I just think
you're all good.
We can build off of that, brother.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and share the video now. Okay, guys? And Eugene, if you can give me a thumbs up if it sounds good and you can see it.
I can see what's happening.
Who builds America?
We build it.
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 We are the organized building and construction trades of the Miami Valley. Electricians, sheet metal workers, iron workers, carpenters and millwrights, bricklayers, plumbers and pipe fitters, operating engineers, cement masons and plasterers, insulators, laborers, roofers, painters. Every year, the construction industry in this country needs another 10,000 skilled workers, and that demand is growing. Our country was built by such skilled men and women, and with their numbers falling, we'll soon fall behind. This is why it's the right time to start a career in the organized building trades. How do you do this? By enrolling in one of our 3 to 5 year apprenticeship programs. You can earn while you learn, working alongside journeyman craftsmen and receiving great pay with annual pay raises. Classroom instruction is accredited at several community colleges, so when you graduate to become a journeyman, you have acquired a great skill that is always in demand. You have earned college credit towards a degree. You will be earning top wages with outstanding benefits. and you will not have any college loans to repay. Becoming a journeyman isn't the end of the road. You can train for new skills and certifications. You can be promoted to foreman, to estimator, to supervisor, and to project manager to increase your earnings. You can even own your own business. Another plus is that as a journeyman, you can move nearly anywhere in this country for gainful employment. Your membership is totally transferable across the states. Your benefits, certifications, and work history all follow you wherever you go. So if you're looking for a career that cannot be shipped overseas, a career that puts you to work from day one, a career with top wages, benefits, and growth potential, a career with the best training for men and women, an apprenticeship program in the organized building trades is for you. Build for your future.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. George?
So as the video said, the apprenticeships are 3 to 5 years, depending on what craft you go into. With that video, as you've seen, there's a very diverse field that you can go into. The biggest thing is do your research, find out what you like. What are your interests? How do you want to get involved? And then reach out to us. My crafts, we cover the commercial painters, which paint everything from the school that you're in to office buildings, stores, doctors' offices, things of that nature. Our industrial bridge painters or industrial painters paint bridges on the side of the highways, water tanks, refineries, pipelines. Drywall finishers go in there after the drywall has been hung. They put the level of finish they want on it or the texturing on your ceilings, stuff like that. To sign display, who does everything from your t-shirts to your books that you guys read, digital display, websites, digital billboards, regular billboards, setting up the conference centers for car shows and such, to glazers and glass workers who do architectural panels, skylights, storefronts, mirrors, handrails, anything that has to do with glass. So that is the fields that I deal with. Eugene?
Yeah, I'm Eugene Frazier. I'm with the sheet metal workers, and what I deal with is I take someone that has zero experience. All of our programs have zero experience requirements. So basically, sheet metal workers, look above your heads, class. You see those vents, and you see how cool or hot you get in a room. That's because of HVAC. The HVAC ductwork and all that's put in by a sheet metal worker. A lot of the sheet metal workers do anything that you can actually drive your car through, depending on the contractor, what they do. What you saw in that video is kind of what I explained to the last class. If you had a sore tooth, I'm asking the class a question. If you had a sore tooth, would you go to a dentist or a foot doctor?
All right, sore tooth, dentist or foot doctor? Dentist.
Dentist. So sitting in that classroom, building that building around you, wouldn't you want the person that hung those lights to be a construction professional that knew what they were doing? Can you imagine every time you walked in a room and you flipped a switch and you got shocked? Somebody wasn't trained properly. So the electrician that put the lights in above your head, the painter that painted that wall behind you, the HVAC system, all that's done by individual professionals, just like a doctor, just like a dentist, just like a foot doctor. They went to school to learn a craft, each one of these crafts. When you say construction, people think, oh, I can build a building. No, in our construction, the carpenter's got a carpenter's job, the electrician's got an electrician's job. Your job as a student is to figure out, what do I want to do for the next 30 years? What you just saw is all of the building trades in one little short 4-minute video. Now it's up to you to find out, what do I want to do for the next 30?
So George, do you want to talk a little bit about what it means to be a painter and kind of give us some more details about a day in the life of maybe someone in your trade?
Not a problem. So our days typically start between 6 and 8 o'clock, depending on what craft you're in and what the project is. Some jobs are at night, so there are some things like that. But typically, as an apprentice, you get up, you go to the job site, and you're there to learn, hone your craft in, ask the questions with the journey person that you're with or the group that you're with. Each one of our crafts are a little bit differently. So the painters, you may be with one journeyman, where the glazers, you may be with 4. It depends on what you're doing and what's going on. So you'd go to work. Typical day is 7 to 3:30, and then you go home for the day. Classes typically for the painters are, we call them block training. So it's 1 week, Monday through Friday or Wednesday through Thursday, or, days here and there, but it's during the day. So you come to class during the week. During the classes, you'll learn your theory, you'll go into the shop, and you'll work on your practical skills. When you're not in school, you're on the job site working, you're earning your wages, you're honing in your skills there. The majority of your time of your apprenticeship is going to be out in the field working with craftsmen so that you can hone in your skills. That's the time to ask the questions. When you're in the apprenticeship class, that's the time to ask the questions if you're having issues, hone your skills in. If you get a problem with something, you can't quite figure out how to do it, utilize the instructors. They'll show you the tricks and the tips to do it all. We work Monday through Fridays, a lot of Saturdays, a lot of overtime. We make a good living wage. We give our employers an honest 8 hours work for an honest 8 hours pay. They're there because they want us there to build this world. As you've seen in the video, we're constantly looking for at least 10,000 construction apprentices a year. And it's becoming harder and harder to find them. These jobs are getting bigger, they're getting fast paced. And the average age, I do believe, is 26, 27 before somebody feels that they need to be in the construction trade or learn it. They find it. You guys have a unique opportunity right now. Get in it, learn it, and be able to buy that house by the time you're 26, 27, when everybody else is figuring out what they want to do. So.
Judy, could you describe to George and Eugene this class that these students are in and the basis for it, and just kind of give us a little background on what this class is designed for?
Yes, this is, we have revamped our careers at Miamisburg High School. We now have, we have career prep sophomore year, which is basically an introduction. We cover a lot of topics. We do resumes, job applications, work permits, soft skills, getting them ready to go out and get a job. And quite honestly, most of the kids, while they're in careers in 10th grade, do go out and get jobs. And then they're smart enough nowadays that they get a job for 8 something and then they find one for 13. So we're basically getting them ready for a career and really trying to expose them to what is out there, thinking outside the box, looking at different careers and things like that. So we also have a class junior year, which is would be next year for these kids, where they dive deeper into their own personal experience of where they would like to go. So that's kind of where we are now. And then hoping 12th grade will be apprenticeships, getting these kids maybe to school in the morning and apprenticeship in the afternoon.
What grade are we dealing with?
We are dealing with 10th graders today.
Okay, I got a question for you, the class then.
Sure.
Class, do you know what you're doing 2 years and about 6 months from now?
You guys have any idea? In 2 years and 6 months, when you graduate, you have any idea where you're going to be or what you're going to do? Lots of head shaking, no.
Anybody in the room, who in that room is definitely know what they want to do? Tell me.
I have one hand. Nadine, what are you thinking? Okay.
Hey, Judy, could you summarize what she said? Because
Yes, I'll summarize that. She would like to go to college to become a lawyer and then a judge And so she kind of has her pathway, I think, kind of set somewhat, but I believe the rest of the class they're pretty much open. Lots of shaking heads of no.
Okay, I have to ask that very same person about the legal side. So that individual wants to get into the legal side of things. Well, here's the part, it doesn't matter. Every classroom I can find someone that's willing enough to say what they want because they've got a pathway. And that is awesome. You're young enough now to start focusing on that, taking the classes in your sophomore, junior, senior year to get you to where you need to be. That's phenomenal. But even inside our organization, the person that wants to be a lawyer. So I have people that went in my apprenticeship program with me, my brothers and sisters next to me, became directors or became officials of the union. That's nothing but dealing with law. That's nothing but dealing with the Department of Labor. That's nothing but understanding the process of the legal side of what we do. There's just like I say, it's the individual's path that they're choosing. So, but if that's what you want to do, man, I'm telling you, go for it. But start now. You're in the 10th grade, start talking to lawyers, start talking, there's no reason why you can't go work in a law firm right now and say, I'll take out your trash. I just want to learn what you're doing. Teach me how to do that. You show that interest, and a lot of time in today's world, in today's marketplace, whether it be an apprenticeship program or anything else, if you show that passion to an employer, they're going to help you get that path because they need you. I have to ask, why do you think we're here today? We're not here just to talk about our programs. We are recruiting. We're looking to hopefully change someone's mind to enough to where even if we get 2 people out of this classroom that's thinking about apprenticeship programs in the 10th grade, by the time they graduate, we got you. If you do your research, and you mentioned something about $1, $15, and $18. Students, I have to warn you, please listen to me. Don't chase the dollar at an early age because, okay, if you're going to go and get a job down the street and they're paying you 50 or 50 cents more in the hour, but it takes you 20 years to get to anything substantial within that company, go on down the road and find someplace else. You might make $1 less, but when you look at the benefits, you look at the progress of your career in a very short period of time, that's the path you want to take. If you drive into a parking lot of an employer and every car in that parking lot is a piece of crap, those people probably don't make a lot of money. Go someplace else. But if you go to a job site and you see these $70,000 pickup trucks, how do you think they're paying for those $70,000 pickup trucks and cars? They're working in construction. They came through an apprenticeship program. There's the difference. Do your research. George and I say it all the time to these classes we talk to with the YouTube. Just YouTube day in the life as a carpenter, day in the life as a sheet metal apprentice, day in the life do it on YouTube. You'll be amazed what you'll find out. And then you might even change your mind. And I assume that was a young lady that answered that question. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I want to tell you, ladies, some of my finest and achieving apprentices in my program and craftsmen are the ladies. I have one that just recently graduated, is now my lead instructor. She is so aggressive. She wants my job. She actually applied for my job, which I think is great because I'm planning on retiring a year from now. So I'm trying to find my replacement. But that's that path. She came as an apprentice. She's going to be a leader. There is no question in my mind. I've got 5 other apprentices. My second year class, the first and third person in that class that's top are ladies. So ladies, you can do it. It's here for you. You can make it as you're boundless of where you can take this career.
Eugene and George, can you guys talk about the advantages of working now to find out what you want to do and the average age of someone coming into your programs? Because I think that's pretty surprising.
George, go ahead.
Yeah. So the average age is about 26, 27 years old getting into the apprenticeship programs. So from the research I've seen is a lot of them go straight from high school. They go start working, not knowing what to do, where to go. Life kind of goes by quickly. That 10 years after you graduate goes quick. In the blink of an eye, before you guys know it, you're gonna be like, what did I do with my life? And then they're getting into the program. With that being said, a lot of our people that go off to college, they're graduating and just starting their career off at 26, 27 years old. with a $60,000+ debt from college expenses. Here, you have an opportunity to start right out of high school, making a good living wage and get free college. You have an opportunity to get a 2-year associate's degree for free through the program with no money out of your pocket. So when you journey out in 4 years at 22, 23 years age, you got a degree, you got a career path, you got a journey person certificate that nobody could take away from you, and you can go anywhere in the country and work and make a good living wage. Everything's paid for. You can have that boat. You can buy a house. How many people right out of college do you know that can turn around and buy a house at 25 or buy a $50,000 boat? Or like Eugene said, I have second-year apprentices that are buying $70,000 pickup trucks, making the payment and still living, and then turning around buying a house by the time they graduate in 2 years. Coming out of college isn't for everybody. You got to do the late work. Like Eugene said, for the young lady that wants to go into become a lawyer, do it now. Do your research. Make that networking connection. This is the time to do it while you guys are young. Find out if that's what you really want to do and get involved. Be involved in your communities. That's the other big part of it. This isn't just a job. This is a career path. This is a lifestyle. Eugene nailed it when he said brothers and sisters. He's not talking his actual blood brothers and sisters. He's talking like myself, the members of his local, his council. That's how we all look at it. We're a family. We do everything for each other. We pick each other up. When you're down, one of us will pick you up, or all of us will pick you up, dust you off, and get you going on the right path again. But you got to do the research. You got to get involved, figure out what you want to do, and start that decision making. You guys are at a prime age right now. Figure out what you want. I'm going to tell you right now, I got a daughter that's going to be graduating in 6 months or whatever. She has no clue what she wants to do. And I've been hounding her since 9th grade. Figure something out. Let's go talk to people. I don't know.
Well, George, I'm gonna jump in and ask. It looks like Judy's class had a few folks walk up with questions. Is that right? And you're muted, just in case you're talking.
Yes, I was just checking with them to see if they had any questions. Guys, do you have any questions at all? What do you have on your papers from yesterday? Yes, Nadine. Oh, here's a good one. What risk comes with the job?
Can I answer that, George?
Go ahead.
Awesome. The risks are very skillfully trained. It is dangerous. It is heavy lifting. It is outside. It is inside. I've worked inside of freezers in the middle of July. I had to be prepared for it. But the risks are trained. So in other words, like you're scared of heights, we're going to train you properly to where you're going to be comfortable there. If you're afraid to, if there's heavy lifting, we got cranes to do that. We're not going to let you get you. That's the whole part about apprenticeship program. The safety is our number one factor when it comes to apprentices. So we realize you have no clue of what's going on around you. So that's why you're placed with a craftsman to watch over you, to make sure you are safe. You will learn these skill sets in this apprenticeship program to where you can do this very safely. We would never ask anything of anyone ever that is unsafe or unsecure. We pride ourselves in finishing jobs under budget and safe. That is our number one goal. Every person that walks in my office, Judy, I always say to them, in 30 years, I want you to walk out of this career the same way you walked in my office, with all your fingers and all your toes and your back in good shape, all your eyes, because you're wearing your proper PPE. That's, now everybody knows what PPE is, personal protection equipment, your earplugs, all that stuff. We don't drug testing. That's something we never even mentioned the other time. We are a very safe and controlled environment on a job site. So that's an awesome question. Thank you for asking.
So to kind of piggyback on her question, could you tell this group about the virtual equipment, like all the reality, how you explained last period?
Sure. Again, with George's in my program, I have a reality lift where we're going to put virtual reality goggles on you if you're scared of heights. We're going to work you through that process. We have virtual welding machines, so you're not getting burnt right away. Get you the fundamentals, so it's like a video game. You guys, everybody loves playing video games apparently. So some of our training is set up that way to entice you to, hey, let's try this without using up the products. And George, you want to explain your paint system?
Yeah, so our virtual spray paint is we pick apart the paint, and then what we do is it's in the classroom setting. So an apprentice will come in, he'll paint it the way we've talked about without having any really skill set or instruction beforehand, and he'll get a grade. Well, while he's in there painting it, the instructor is explaining to him what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, or change your motion this way or that way. But as the rest of the class is sitting there watching it, they're picking up on these cues. So next time they are up, they're painting a better job and they're getting a higher score. Now it's becoming a competition. So now, the next person. So as you're going through that, it's a game, yes. But at the same time, you're honing in your muscle memory skills. You're working on your techniques. You're working on making sure the equipment is set up properly. While all this is going on, we're not wasting the materials. We're keeping the environment green. For us to paint an object in our facility, we got to power up the equipment. We got to turn a ventilation system on. We got to pollute the air. Even though it's filtrated, we're still putting pollutants in the air. You can't trap everything and get rid of everything. Then on top of that, the manufacturers have to make everything. So now we're costing everything, where instead we could just plug this thing into the wall and project it up on the ceiling, and it's green. Everybody gets to see it. Everybody gets to try. And in the paint booth, I can only have 1 or 2 people in there at a time, so it takes a longer process. This way, everybody's getting involved. Everybody's getting excited about it. And then when we put the real spray paint in their hands, they have that muscle memory. They know what they're doing. And then it's just fine tuning their skills to make them more proficient, to make the contractor money.
And then one more thing, from last period, when you talked about the construction expo, could you please explain to this group what they would see and do at the expo when it does happen the next time?
Absolutely. That's George. You want me to take it?
Yeah.
Okay. The expo that's where you're going to get the hands on. So right now, currently between now and next October, if we can get to do that expo, what you need to do is start looking at where do I really want to go to first. Make 3 choices. I want to go to 3 different booths. So you come to the sheet metal booth, I'm going to have you put together a tool tray. I'm going to have you weld. I'm going to get you on the virtual machine. George is going to have you on his virtual machine. We've got, like I said, you're going to be doing actual hands-on stuff, so you can actually get a feel for it at our expo. One thing I know we didn't mention last time, but I know how much time we got left, but something you have to understand about our apprenticeship programs and the building trades is when you go look for a job right now, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, but rather pick an apprenticeship program, whatever, but when you go look for a job, you have to go knock on that door. Let's just say you get a job and you don't like it and you have to go knock on another door, or you lose that job, or they shut that factory. You got to go knock on another door. Here's the caveat to us. Once you've chosen the path, you knock on one door. Once you've knocked on that door, you're entered in our programs. That's the last door you got to look for a job. Our job as an organization is to find you your next job. Your job as an apprentice or as a craftsman in our industry is to maintain your job. So you work until there's no more work. And if that work dries up, think about it. You're not out looking for a new employer. That's our job, to find you your next employment. That's huge in the building trades. And the other thing that's coming with that is, again, guaranteed raises. Where are you going to go to the students to where I'm going to tell you a year from now, I guarantee you a raise if you do your part. You're not negotiating that. You're not asking for it. It's going to happen. And then I guarantee you every 6 months thereafter, you're going to get a raise, because with knowledge comes pay. The more knowledge, the more money. It demands more money because you're putting the effort into it. We're going to make sure you get a raise. In a 5-year period, you're going to have a raise the first year, and then every 6 months thereafter in the sheet metal apprenticeship program. There's no place that's going to tell you that, and it's going to guarantee you that in writing outside of what we do. We're also going to pay for your schooling. We're also going to give you what's called our benefit package. Now, here's the thing I was talking about, the $15 versus the $18. Listen to me. It's the benefits. Our benefits are so strong that I'm able, in less than a year from now, call it quits and make pretty much what I make now, Brian. I'm never going to have to worry about that again because of my benefits. That's very rare today. Everyone has to put money into savings. Everyone has to do it for themselves. Just by working, this is happening for you. Go ahead, Brian.
So Eugene, I think we only have a minute or so left with this class, and I think what you're saying is so powerful. And we're really closing out National Construction Appreciation Week. So I can't thank enough of Miamisburg for participating in this, and teachers like Judy stepping up and having their class pilot out a new technology on YouTube Live. So thank you guys. Judy, does your class have any questions, or did you want to close it out? And Judy, you're muted right now, so we can't hear you if you're talking.
Well, it's not a day unless I embarrass myself on YouTube. So anyway, I apologize greatly. What I was saying was I thank you so much for today. It has been absolutely awesome. I think the kids have learned so much. I love the fact that they've been exposed to so many different careers within the trade. And they would like to say nice and loud, thank you. 1, 2, 3. Thank you from Miamisburg High School. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much, and we appreciate it, and we're glad that we were able to Zoom in with you today, and have a wonderful rest of your week and a great rest of your Friday. And we're just appreciative that the skilled trades stepped up in a big way and gave us I think we did the best Construction Appreciation Week in the state, and that's thanks to everyone involved, including Sinclair and many of our other partners. If you enjoyed this week, Sinclair has competitions to get involved in, and then we can't stress enough, go check out DaytonApprenticeships.org to learn more and see ways to contact the folks that you got to meet this week. Eugene, George, you want to close us out?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Once again, do your research. If you've got any questions, reach out to the people. All of our trade coordinators and directors are always willing to talk to you guys at any time.
Thank you so much for having us. We enjoy this every time because we're hoping that, we're giving that pathway to someone. But something else, another caveat is you might have a family member. You might have someone within your own family that's looking for a good career job. Don't leave this information in this classroom. Take it with you. Get on that video or get on that website. Reach out to us as coordinators. There's multiple programs. We're not here just to be talking. We're here because we're recruiting. So again, get with your family members, get them in contact with us. We'll do everything we can to help you. And again, thank you so much for having us.
All right. And that's a wrap. That's the end of Construction Week. So thank you guys, and have a wonderful rest of your Friday. And thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.